good day. I'm Erica, travel occupational therapist and founder of The List. Today we are talking to my good friend Faith Swenson, who is also a travel occupational therapist. Hi Faith, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, I'm glad we're recording so I can start asking you questions. So where are you?
I am currently in good old Pennsylvania in my parents' home.
Wonderful. How long have you gotten to be home?
What's that?
How long have you gotten to be home?
Gosh, it's been several months now, about 5. I'm working PRN right now. Just between, I'm gonna probably travel in the future, but just doing PRN jobs for now. So it's been really nice actually. And anytime I'm home, I feel like it's always longer than expected, which is the traveler thing. You don't know the future. So you're like, well, this feels good right now. And my parents are fine with it. So here I am.
You never know. So is that 5 weeks or 5 months?
5 months. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good long trip. I am also in my hometown. I am in Northern Michigan. I'm not at my parents' house. But I rented a place here for a while, and I was just thinking this morning, like, where will I go after this? And I thought, if you commit or plan something, like there's going to be somewhere else your soul needs to be. So I'm just going to wait it out. I have no concept of where I'm going to be next, but I'm here today.
Yeah. Which is very hard to grasp for some people that haven't traveled, and it's like a very foreign concept. And a lot of people need more stability than that. But for those of us who are kind of like-minded, it's almost comforting not knowing. I find comfort in that, at least.
I still would enjoy knowing what the next thing is, but I also know that I don't know what it is yet. And I just have to accept that and just be here. And here's great.
Right, I make it sound like the seamless, perfect thing. It's a little unsettling, but at the same time, it's kind of, I guess it's a little bit exciting. Probably a mix of things for me at least.
Definitely. Okay, so you were going to come here and tell us about how to eat healthy on the road.
Yes, which can encompass lots of things. So,
Faith, are you vegan? Where are you?
I call myself plant-based. And what the differentiation is, vegan often is thought of, and I don't want to butcher words. Maybe I'll have some people in the comment section correcting me, which is fine. But plant-based is more of a vague term to encompass that most of your diet consists of plant-based foods. Vegan, you can get into you don't wear leather, you don't consume honey, like there's very specific things. I do eat honey once in a while. I actually have shrimp on rare occasions, so I can't technically call myself fully vegan, but that's why plant-based is just easier to say. So basically, I'm 96% vegan, I would say. I've been that way for about 7 years now, which is kind of hard to believe, but I love it. It definitely has me feeling my best.
Yeah, definitely. And even in the time that I've known you, how long have we known each other? 3 years? 4 years?
No, longer than that. That's how fast time goes. I think more like, how long have I been there?
It's been a few years.
Maybe 4. We'll say 4 years. Sure.
It's been a few. Well, and in that time, I've seen a lot of you go through a lot of different changes with your body composition and a lot of different changes with your diet and what you decide to eat. And it's been an interesting thing to kind of follow you on that journey of deciding what is healthiest for you and what decisions you're making based on that. So I had asked Faith here to come and just talk about how she eats healthy on the road. It's really hard when you're physically driving across the country. It's really hard to find healthy things. You really have to think about it or prepare for it. And then especially once you land somewhere, you can try to get as prepared as you can, but once you get there, if you're on this strict diet, you have to go and find all of those items. You have to go and find all the tools to prepare all of those items. And it is a challenge if you're going to follow a specific diet, being a traveler. So I was curious with Faith on how she does that, how she manages it.
Yeah, I think so. When Erica first asked me to do this, she was like, do you want to talk about specifically like how to travel and be vegan or plant-based, that kind of thing? And I was saying to her, I definitely will, because that is my diet. I probably will, I have a bunch of items around me to show you, just things that I tend to eat on the daily or when I'm traveling. But I think what is important in anybody's diet. We all agree that fruits and vegetables are healthy. I think that is across the board. I think we can all agree that having protein is healthy, although I've gone through phases where I didn't prioritize it as much. So that's a rabbit hole. But what's it? Is that the right term? A can of worms. But I think protein is important, diet to diet. And so whenever I think about eating healthy on the road, I try to have things that are fresh, that won't go bad quickly, things that will be super simple and easy, and things that prioritize protein, if I can simplify that enough. And then we can, talk about water and exercise and all that too. Because I think when I first started preparing a little bit for this, I was like, only thinking about food. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like hydration is important. And if you want to have any sort of movement, I think that even if it's just walking, that's important. But like it sometimes gets forgotten about when you're traveling to get your steps in and that kind of thing.
Okay, so starting with food, I mean, yes, we all agree on those things. Like do you have any recommendations on where to get these things or how to store them, or easily preparing them when you don't have the tools that you could have if you were in one home base?
Yeah, I think that's something I've learned. And it's actually, and for me, I'm such a nerd about this stuff. And it's really, so that's why Erica was asking me too, because she knows I love to talk about this stuff. And I have to find my audience because not everyone loves to hear about it. So hopefully you can find
I love to hear whatever you have to say.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, to my right, I have a ton of items here, a bunch of them. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of walk through, if it's helpful, I've categorized things and I can just show you like each group and what I do and how I use it. Is that cool?
Okay, I'm happy to go on your tour, and all those things would take up a carry-on suitcase. That's everything I take with me as a carry-on. So now I always preach, I'm like, just take as much as you can fit in a carry-on. Like, but now I'm saying take that and this. You have 2 carry-ons now.
2 carry-ons, one just for your food and everything you're going to consume. So you should be good. Now I'll show you. So I have 2 ways of doing it, and I'll kind of talk about both while I go through. I have this giant, you can find these at your local TJ Maxx. Everybody loves these. I feel like this is a Christmas variety, but it's a TJ Maxx bag. This is what I put my food in when I have road trips.
Okay.
And like, even when I'm commuting to work, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. What am I going to do? I have this bag at my side at all times. So I always have snacks. I'm going to make a really good mom someday. So I'm always prepared with snacks. But yeah, so starting with water, I always carry this with me. I have multiple varieties. This is from REI. You can find them at multiple like sporting goods stores. It's just an easy open top. So when you're at a gas station to fill up your water, you can do it just on like the soda fountain machines. You don't want something super small because then, I don't know, it's hard to fit ice in there and everything. So you can find water fountains at the airport or gas stations, and then and it's super lightweight when it doesn't have water too. And then this function can hook onto your airport bag or your purse or whatever. It just fits a lot of places and it's super light. So that's helpful.
Okay. The small ones too, like if you ever put anything besides water in them, you can't like wash them unless you like go out and buy a special like thing to clean it, and it just ends up being a pain in the butt, and I feel like I have to like redo that process every new contract. So
yes, they're like disgusting and moldy, and yeah, you can't fit your hand in here, but you can get like you can get in there with some other tool. Like it's pretty easy. So
you can clean it easier.
Yeah. And it's not metal, but it's like the BPA free, that kind of thing. And then moving right along. So I just bought these, they're called Nectar. These are from Amazon. They're hydration packs. They have, what's a popular one? There's one with really high sugar. And they say that helps with like your electrolytes. This is a sugar-free variety. I believe it's sweetened a little bit with stevia. Now people have different ideas of stevia, but that's also a can of worms. But anyway, so these are sugar-free, 0 calories. These help with hydration. And I feel like a lot of times, especially when you fly, you often get dehydrated very quickly, probably not drinking enough. These will help put the electrolytes back in your body.
Okay.
So adding these to water. Nectar is the brand. There's a lot of them on Amazon. A lot of them talk about clearing hangovers and stuff like that too. So multifunctional. And then this is a recent addition. I work with a coach right now who recommends BCAAs. They are somewhat controversial. There's some research about them, but I wrote down 3 key items that BCAAs help with. They decrease muscle loss, they increase protein synthesis, and they promote recovery. So when you do have that workout, it helps with those things. But also for this video purposes, without the health properties aside, this makes your water taste amazing, which makes me drink more water.
Okay. What does it taste like?
This one is lemonade. It's sweetened with, is it stevia? Yeah, this one's sweetened with stevia too. But it honestly, like I don't crave water all the time. And if it's sweetened with something that tastes really yummy, I'm more likely to drink. And I just think water is very important it's important for fat loss too. So that's a good thing. And on the road, that's not our main priority, because I will stop often to go to the bathroom, even though it's annoying and a pain sometimes to get off the exit. I think I'd rather be well hydrated than dehydrated on a road trip.
Right. Okay. We might differ in that thought.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's a can of worms. I'm going to say can of worms a million times. Like, there'll be things that people are like, I'm going to leave that.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Oh, yeah. It is annoying. You're like, I have to get there. I want to get started this week.
I feel like that's most people too. Most people, it depends on how much of a hurry you're into. I mean, and what people's, reasoning is for getting there quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I had not heard of that. Available on Amazon. Amazon is honestly the best. Anytime you have to get new stuff because you got somewhere else, like Amazon is just so easy. Thank God for it. You can find anything.
Thank God for it. And I often feel like I'm feeding the beast, it's just like taking over, but then I find myself back on there and I'm like, this is a perpetual, I don't know if it would be called a problem, but you know what I mean? You're feeding something that's like taking over, but you know what you're doing when you do it and you keep doing it. So
definitely we could get down, but
yeah.
I appreciate that it's a service that you can't get otherwise and you can count on it wherever you are. So
exactly. Yeah. It'll be at your door ASAP. Yeah. Very, very convenient. Oh my gosh. I have so many things in front of me. I'm like, I'm never going to get through all of them.
I know. What do you
okay.
want to show us?
These are really helpful. So this one would be if you're driving. This is a brown rice cup. They are the minute rice cups you can buy at any grocery store. If you're on a road trip, there's obviously gas stations you can stop at. Sometimes there are microwaves.
Yes.
And this is when this would come in handy. This can only be made with a microwave, but it's a super, like I get the brown rice or the quinoa cups. They're just a really healthy carb source. And that would be if you're at a gas station and there's microwave. Now, these two things you do not need a microwave for. This is something I take with me everywhere too. This is more of a, I mean, you could call it it is vegan, split pea soup, but there's 15 grams of protein. You can get these at health food stores and some normal grocery stores or on Amazon. McDougall, so this one, you just add water, hot water, which every gas station has hot water. Every airport, almost every airport has a coffee shop or a Starbucks. You just ask them for a cup of hot water, pour the water in, and you have a meal.
Okay.
I rely heavily on hot water for a lot of my.
It sounds like it.
Travel. Same thing for this. All you need is hot water. So I will ask Starbucks for hot water, or I will they have little, almost every gas station has the little hot water button. So then this segues perfectly into, so I love oatmeal. If you don't like oatmeal, this will not work for you, but this is where you were saying you need a carry-on suitcase. Now, if I'm to show you this, yes, that's true. But this is my favorite protein.
Get new protein powder when you get there. Use that up, and then it's time to go.
Yeah.
Get it there.
And then you just dump it in a bag. Boom.
Okay.
I'm like Rachel Ray. It's here and now it's here. So I pre-portion little protein bags and I take them in my carry-on or in the TJ Maxx bag. And then I just dump protein into my oatmeal and it makes a really well-rounded meal. You could take a little packet of peanut butter with you. So I have these little packs and then make it a well-rounded. So you're looking at your macros, you have carbs, protein, and fat to keep you satiated. So if you kind of include all of those three things in one meal, you're much more likely to stay fuller longer, which is important when you're traveling.
Okay. That's good feedback.
Yeah. So this is very carb heavy. It does have some protein because most food does. It has a little bit of fat because almost foods that you think have no fat or no protein probably have at least a little bit, like broccoli has more protein than people think. But anyway, adding those healthy things in can keep you full.
Okay.
Just while this is kind of segueing nicely, that I showed you the peanut butter, in its regular form. This is called from Amazon. Wow, I really do order a lot from Amazon. Naked PB. How scandalous. And it is just the powdered version of peanut butter. So it's really low in fat. And it's not that I'm anti-fat. Like I just said, I eat plenty of it, but it's not my main thing that I try to get each day. And I think based on a normal diet, we get more fat than we think we do. And that is it's very high calorically. So not to tangent off too much, but if I'm to so my boyfriend likes, where's the bag? I don't have them sitting here. He likes to eat handfuls of mixed nuts, trail mix, pistachios. There's nothing wrong with that. But one thing, those calories add up really quickly. And then it's, usually the trail mix has sugar and M&Ms and all these things that taste amazing. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. But if we're eating handfuls while we drive or we're sitting in an airport, I personally could go through a half a bag of trail mix. And that's probably a daily intake of calories.
Right.
So I personally stay away. Now he can eat more and not gain weight. So that's not an issue, but that's why I like using stuff like this, because instead of eating, 210 calories from peanut butter, I might just use a little bit of this and put it away, or I can have like a couple more scoops of this, which can be mixed with water or just in your oatmeal cup, and not have my daily intake of fat that way. So again, I'll put this in little bags, just like I do the protein powder when I'm traveling. Perfect.